that's how you'll find your strength. So I'll let you. Girls, you were born to run, to reach the stars and chase the sun. Girls, you were wild and free. The wind is at your back, the world is at your feet. Sometimes life can feel unfair, broken hearts you can't repair. Sometimes you might be scared that no one gets you.
Yes, yes, and yes, another beautiful Saturday evening on the Young Women and Wives with Burdens and Blessings Initiative Discussion Platform. And I remain your wonderful host, Rosemary Henriese. How has your work been? How has the week been? How is everyone doing? Thank you for everyone who has stayed thus far with us. It's another beautiful discussion Saturday evening, and I'm so excited for the topic that we have tonight. And our tonight's topic is social connections and isolations. What are the pros and what are the cons? I don't know about you, but I thrive. I thrive on social connections. I thrive on social connections. It is my place of soccer. It's a place where I find life. And someone would say, oh my God, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. But then, welcome. And the Y.W.W.B Initiative Discussion Platform, we are about the wholeness of the woman. This initiative is all out to help the woman go through her journey. We are not heading to a destination. We are on a journey. So it is, we continue to want to discuss, to talk about that which affects the woman, her everything about her life, and that we try to ensure that we bring wholeness to her life. Today, I'm going to be joined by other wonderful women. Our host for the month of May, the person of Olabi Sadeshola, will be joining us as immediately, and our guest panelist in the person of Massawe. Sorry, I might be a little bit innocent with the name, but she's here. I just want to keep it in the wrap. She's here. Keep it in the wrap while she joins us. I'll bring in Adeshola, who will be reading the biography of our guest panelist. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And as our custom is, once you join us, please tell us where you are joining us from. We want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been with us thus far. We appreciate you. We love you. We say thank you for your support till now. Please, our guest panelists, can you kindly mute when you come in? Please mute. Please mute so that once we are ready to bring you in, we can bring you in. But I'm trying to bring both of you in. So, Mommy, you can take over, please. You have the...
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thank you for staying tuned with us. We really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. This is another time where we'll be discussing social connections and isolation, pros and cons. So, it promises to be an amazing time because it's like I'm talking about myself right here. So please, before we bring in our guest speaker, I quickly want to give us a biography. Yeah, that's it, a biography. Sorry, please. So tonight, are we ready for an awesome time? Because I cannot wait. Tonight is going to be an amazing time. So her name is Anna, and she's a dedicated social worker with over a decade of experience living and working in the United Kingdom. Originally from Tanzania, and moved to UK 12 years ago, and has since then established strong professional foundation. I need to let us know who is going to be talking with us alongside with Rose. Sorry about that. You all know Rose. You all know much about her, but as Anne is going to be joining us for the first time tonight, we need to let you know who she is. That's why I'm really quickly reading. So she moved to UK 12 years ago and has since established a strong professional foundation in social care. with a practical commitment to support children, family, and individuals in need. Now 33 years old and a proud mother of 2 daughters, and brings a rich blend of culture, insight, compassion, and practical expertise to our role. Our background and lived experience contribute to a deep understanding of diverse communication and the challenges they may face, enabling her to provide cultural sensitivity and personal centered support, and is passionate about making a positive impact through her work, advocating for the well-being and empowerment of those she serves. Our professional journey is marked by a strong sense of purpose, resilience, resilience and dedication to social justice. Don't miss our discussion to the sorry, that's not part of it. So um I welcome Anne. If she's on the platform, you are welcome, man. You are welcome, you are welcome. We are very happy to have you, and we know that your coming will contribute and impact lives tonight. So what are we talking about tonight? What do we mean by social connections and isolation? While going through or preparing for this evening, I realized that, you know, socializing or, remaining connected socially help us a long way, as a way of affecting our lives and impacting us positively more than the negative part of it. So, social connection helps us numerously, including it enhances our mental and physical health. It increases our sorry, longevity. Ah, Jesus is Lord. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry.
Longevity,
Thank
don't worry,
you,
fine.
longevity. Thank you for coming through. So it increases our longevity. Women out there that are online that you are watching right now, I want you to understand that social connection is key, is very important. If you isolate yourself, there are advantages to it. There are also a lot of disadvantages to it. But when you are social, when you are communicating, when you are, it's like you are going through an issue in your life and you have no one to talk to, you have nobody to relate with. But your social connection with other people gives you the privilege to express yourself, to unburden, to let people know. You might not even let people know what you're going through. You might be saying it, and nobody will know that it's you that is really going through that issue. But then you are just, socializing and getting yourself mixed with other people. By so doing, it helps you a long way. It helps you to stay healthy. It helps you from depression. It helps you to stay connected to your world and not isolated. I'm not trying to say that even if you have to isolate yourself, it doesn't mean that that doesn't have a positive impact. It has its own, but we are going to have that discussion this evening. So let me quickly give us more benefit or more understanding about you being socially connected to people and to friends around you. Then another thing I need to let us understand now is that in the bid of you socializing, in the bid of you trying not to wallow in whatever situation you find yourself, please don't get it mixed up or twisted. Guide the people around you, guide the people you are connected to, guide the people. Be sure that you are relating with the right people, not just anybody. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, coming to isolation, beloved, isolation has its own problem. It has its own advantage and a lot of disadvantage. When you are in challenge and when you are living this life, if you are a person that is alive, so let's forget about challenges now. You are alive, you have experienced the good and the bad of life, and your conclusion about life is, let me live my life by myself. I've been there. I've been there. Because why did I get there? How did I arrive there? I arrived there because I realized for every move I make, it's criticism. oh, you have not done that well, you didn't talk well, that your talk is humiliating, is condemning, you are not, feeling the other person's impact, you are not doing it well, you are not socializing well, you are not communicating well. When you keep having that, then to now crown it up, to now top it up, that's the icing on the cake. You now have a friend, you are not connected with people that all they want to do is to hear your matter, your discussion, want to hear what is going on about you. The next minute they are discussing with someone else. What do you do? At that point, I had to close up. I stopped associating, I stopped communicating, I went into isolation. I don't have
Mommy,
friends.
mommy, please give me a second. Anna, please, I've been trying to add you, but it's saying connection failed from your end. I think there's poor connection from your end. I've been adding you now for like almost 7 to 8 times. But once it tries to add, the next thing just a connection failed. I don't know. I just want you to know what I'm facing. So, but please stay on and let me keep trying. Thank you. Mommy, continue, please.
Okay. So there's nothing good I do that is commended. So I had to stay isolated. I was able to manage the situation because when I was isolated, I do things that keeps me busy. I do things that will not allow me think. But at the same time, my look was not fine. I was not really fine. But I could manage my isolation because I'm a Christian. So I keep myself busy reading my Bible, reading Christian novels, then engage in the business I do. Not really when I talk about business, yes, I'm a baker and I'm a chef, but then at that time I was still a baker and I run a school. So I engage the students. But you can't call your students and begin to shout with them and relate with them, or else you'll be disgracing yourself. So that isolation was deep. And I felt that was the best I could ever have or achieve. Thank you, Mr. Harry, for joining us. Please, if you have questions, you can start bringing it in. So I'm trying to let us understand the disadvantage of isolation. For me, I didn't enter into depression, or I might have walked in depression unknowingly, but I didn't know it. I didn't know it until I came out of it in 2023. It was 2023 I realized, hey, I've not been living my life. It was a terrible situation for me. I don't associate, I don't communicate. Even though I have the big phone, I don't socialize. To post, to make friends online or via social media, I felt I won't do it well because of what I've been hearing, of what I've been, that have been stuck in my mind. So I just felt, let me just be myself. Then in church, any opportunity I have to showcase or to minister, I give it my best. So part of it is the fact that when I was isolated, I had no friends, no helper. Because when you don't socialize, you keep yourself or cut yourself off helpers. When people don't know what you're going through, when people don't know how they can help you, blessings will be far away from you. So I was deprived of all that. People that can easily make moves for me, I had no connection to that. So those are the things that I went through. But by the time I came out, socializing was a salvation for me. It's like I was discovering myself afresh. I was getting to know the person I am. Little do I know that I can do what I'm doing presently. So I believe you have been blessed. I believe you have gotten one or two things from what I'm trying to say. So right now I need to bring in Rose. And what is happening? What's the situation with Anne? Is she
I
coming in? Or
we have been trying to add her, but she's having connection issues at her end. It keeps saying connection failed. I will add her if you want to come in there to drop her again. I say connection failed. So there's connection problem at her end. I
so
actually sent
let's
her. I'm
okay,
still
let's go on.
I keep adding her, but then since it's a panel session, we continue. She will join us. I will just want to get her
Okay,
professional perspective to it.
what we can
So,
do, tell her to send her own contribution by the comments. Can we do
No,
that?
she will join us. I'm adding her. Yeah, she will join us. Hopefully, she will join us. I think the network is at her end. There's a major network issue at her end. So she's
Okay,
saying
no
connection
problem.
failed. I've tried it now like 10 times. So I don't
So
know if
some
she
of
can probably reposition herself or something. So
okay,
there is a
and
connection for. So concerning what you were trying to say, and I want to say that mommy is speaking from the hindsight. Sorry, I don't know. Mommy is being speaking from her experience, and which is what we do here. We're very practical oriented, and we believe that when we talk or say anything from our experience, people can easily relate to it. So this night it's a panel session, so where she had to just give the introduction to the topic so that we all would know or understand the perspective we are taking it from. So social connection and isolation. There are two words together. Social connection, isolation.
and isolation.
When,
Yes, it was
yeah,
together.
yeah. So when you're
So
talking
can I throw
about
my
social
question now?
connection, so when you're talking about social connection, you're talking about the relationship you have with people, family, friends, people in your community. The importance, it has its own advantage, it has its own good side. I know I tell people something, I say to people, I say, probably from my perspective as a construction person, in construction, there's what we have loads, we have life loads and we have dead loads. And life load, human beings are life loads. And you see a situation where if you leave a house uninhabited for a month, 2 months, or 3 months, you would see that there will be some level of deterioration in the building because humans give life. So that is how important social connection. That's how important social relationship, having social, expression and connection is to our existence. And when we talk about isolation, yes, there's a time to take a time off, but to not isolate is where the problem is. Isolation can be very disastrous, and rather it is even disastrous, not that can be, because in order to isolate yourself, that means you have decided that you no longer wish to be with anyone. You no longer wish to have exchange of life or breath with anyone, and that is a major issue. And a lot of us have experiences. For those of us who came abroad, I I think I had watched over time on social media how people would come on social media, like on TikTok or something, and they would be crying. I would say, "No, they are so lonely in Canada. It is so miserable in Canada." So that was more for me like an awareness of the life or what life is in Canada. So what I did was when I came, I actually saw that everybody was about their own business. But I now observe that if you are, it requires intentionality. It requires be what being out. You have to go out to make friends. You have to go out to connect with people. If you don't connect, you will be amazed that the way you are restricting yourself from connecting is the same way another person is restricting themselves from connecting. And social connection has its own advantage. And there are, for me, I believe that there are more advantage when it comes to social connection. It helps your emotion. It helps you really. Okay, let me give you an example. I experienced both, social connecting and then isolating. So I had a period where I was isolated because I felt overwhelmed. I felt unstable. I was going through something and I isolated and I stayed alone, and all I did was just go to work and come back, and I'm inside my room, and I did that for 3 to 4 months, and I saw how it was draining me, how I was being drained by it. It actually drained me. But as soon as I step out to, start reconnecting again, I found out that there was life existed more in connecting than in isolating. Yes, we might say that, oh, people hurt you, you don't want them, people are not good. And I found out that, you see, there is no one that is perfect. There's no one that
At
is
all.
perfect. You also must actually find a way to relate with people. And sometimes when you find out that you're relating with people, there are issues. You should find a way to resolve such issue, because for every issue or problem or challenges you have with people, if you take yourself away, you have somewhat taking yourself back many months or this is back from the growth that you would have experienced. And like our host said, but our host said that you there are a lot of things you will achieve by being out there, by connecting with people. And it's true. See, success, there's this general saying that says that your network is your net worth. I listened to someone talking today, Mr. Akitayo. He said you can work hard with hard work. You can make 10 million with hard work, and with your own self. You can make 20 million, but with your network you can make 1 billion. And and because your strength and your hard work is not sufficient to take you far, but people will take you far. Your social connection will take you far, because they will help you, uh, break, or how would I put it now? They will help you, what you would have done in 10 years. Social connecting, or having that connection, your network will help you achieve it in a year. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is with her, with her internet, but she's not been able to join us. He keeps saying connection fail, connection fail. So, mommy, please continue. Hello, ma.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, I'm not able to add her. I think the network on my end is it's just saying connection
In
failed,
UK,
connection failed. Ma,
in UK, in UK,
mommy, sorry, not
no,
chatting.
it's all right. It's all right. So another thing I would like to add to, you just said something now, that when you socialize, things that you're supposed to achieve in 10 years, you can achieve it in 1 year because of relationship. Honestly, that's correct. Absolutely correct. So another thing I want us to know is that when you socialize health-wise, you are mentally healthy. Why? Because you are not crowding your head with things that you don't even want to think or imagine. You are open. Sorry, I'll be speaking from my own experience in the last 2, 3 years. What I've been able to achieve in the last 2, 3 years, for 17 years, I couldn't achieve them. Why? Because I was living an isolated life. And I felt that is the best. That is the best that you can ever achieve. And it's wrong. Then physically, no matter how intelligent you are, if you stay in isolation, you can't remain intelligent like you used to,
Yes.
because every day you grow, every day you learn. What you have learned in 10 years, you might not be relevant in the next 2, 3 years after. So you need that relevancy. You need just to update yourself. You need to be in touch and in tune with the world you live in. So, like I said earlier, isolation have its own pro, but then you cannot compare it with when you connect with the world that you live in. My only concern is be careful with people you are connected with. Be connected to people that means you well, that have that has your interests at heart. Be connected with people that wants the best for you. Don't just connect. That's one thing I want to. And then another pro to socializing is you'll be hale and healthy. You'll be strong. You'll be full of challenges. Things you will meet with people that are always challenging you to to achieve purpose, to achieve great things. You will see people that will always motivate you. That's one of the things that social connection does for us. Social connection will also motivate you to want to learn more, to want to go out the more. Recently, in year 2023, one of the things social connection did for me was I was connected to this set of people. They are just two. One of them was, was the first speaker we had this month. that we had issue with network and the rest. Fine. That woman is so amazing in my life. It's like God sent her to me. God really sent her to me. In the process, in the bit of me connecting to her, I've been able to achieve, receive 2 certificates because I was connected to her. She will only say it. She doesn't push you. She will tell you the benefit of these things and then leave you to do it. She sends me invites to different programs that ordinarily, if I'm alone, I can't get in touch with those programs. So you see how social connection can be, and then getting the right person. So that is that is the number one thing I need to mention. Then when we talk of isolation in its own word is not that it's that bad or is that unwanted. There are times you really need to isolate yourself. There are times you really need to separate yourself from the noise of the world. And now think deep down, just like a self-examination. But beloved, don't stay too long in it. Don't dwell too long in it. Because if you stay too long in isolation, anxiety, fear, well, the next thing you start experiencing is you start experiencing fear. You have nobody to talk to. Depression sets in. Those are the disadvantage of isolation. But as good as isolation can be, isolation should be for a season. Don't live such life. So don't live that life or don't continue in isolation all your life thinking that the world has nothing to give offer. Some people might have betrayed you. Some people might have batter you at the back, but don't feel that that is the end of life. I quickly want to read the comment of someone here. Kenny said something here. He says sometimes you can be on your own. You can be on your own, especially if you have just experienced betrayal. But do not stay in that situation for so long, because depression will set in. Use that a long time to reflect, learn, and relearn. And that is one thing you do with isolation.
There's something I have down here that I want to read. I don't know if you mind.
Then Anne, sorry, before you read that, Anne said something. Anne said, I have a strong connection now. Yeah, thank you. Okay, go on. Let's have you.
Okay, no, she's trying to say that she has a strong connection, but I'm still unable to argue, Anne. I'm still unable to. He's still saying connection failed. I don't know what the problem is. I've
Sorry, I
tried
was
it
thinking
over
she
more than 10
connected.
times, saying connection failed. It still saying
Oh,
from Facebook, it's saying connection failed. It's not adding you.
okay,
So I have something
okay,
that I need to read here. It says the silent
okay.
room. He said, imagine a room filled with people, yet your heart feels alone. That's isolation. Now imagine a single voice saying, how are you really? That's connection. We weren't made to survive in silence. We heal in community, grow through belonging, and thrive through love shared. Let's break the silence. Let's reconnect. And I have another one. It says, we have hundreds of followers, but no one to follow us home. Thousands of likes, but no one who truly listens. Social connection is more than a tap on the screen. It is the touch of the soul. It's sitting, showing up, staying when it matters. Let's trade shallow clicks for deeper bonds, because humans weren't created for isolation. And the last one, what if one coffee date could change a heavy heart? What if your smile could be someone's first reason to hope? Social connection don't require perfection, just presence. Let's choose community over comparison and companionship over comfort zones, because life is richer when we walk it together. So I decided to read this because I wanted to say something. I want to say that I'm not, when we're talking about social connection here, we're not talking about people who were otherwise known as keyboard warriors, who stay behind, who hide behind Facebook, who are faceless, or so to speak, and hide behind Facebook and think that that is where they are socially connecting. No. The social media is, like you said, it's called social media. But when we're talking about socially connected, it's creating that relationship, that bond that helps a healthy lifestyle. So as a woman, because why it is really necessary that we talk about this as women is that women, for me, seem to have the most challenge when it comes to being socially healthy. Being socially healthy, because typically a woman is easy to take offense. A woman would see how she looked at me and I did not like it, how, what the statement she said, what she said, how she did this, I don't like it, she did this and she did that. But if we really want to thrive and grow, we need to what? To learn the act of being able to socially connect and understand that we all have different upbringing, we all have different perspectives, we all have different ideas, and being open to people's other people's ideas and suggestions is a very healthy skill to learn. You don't know it all. So it is, so if you say your reason for isolating because people will hurt, people say things that hurt you. See, you cannot tell someone what to do. However, you can filter and define the environment you wish to to stay. There are good people, there are also bad people. So, and you will attract who you are. So if you are always attracting, sometimes, most times, not all the time anyway, if you are always attracting the unhealthy thing, then you should watch your values. You should watch what you believe in. You should watch what you are, who you are. Because most times we gravitate towards what our value is. It's just like what they say. They will say algorithm. When the social media or Facebook or whatever will always bring to you that which you are always checking on social media. So when you check something, to always bring to you what you are always said. Anna, please, I don't know what is happening, but I've not been able to add you because it is saying connection failed. I've tried more than 15 times. So isolating yourself, oh, thank God she's here. Finally. You are
Yes,
welcome.
thank
Good evening. So,
you. Good evening.
Mommy, continue.
Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. That's a long one. So now that you are
Thank
here, before I go on, do you have anything to share with us relating to social? Just for 2 minutes, just say something so that our audience will know that you are with us.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. As I was introduced, my name is Anna from the United Kingdom. And what I would really like to add is echoing what the previous speakers have already shared, and the one who have already put also on the post, that yes, isolation is not something that is really, as you said, there is that balance, isn't that there are those times where we need those times to isolate in a way, or times that we can really stay or step aside from different groups, different activities, but it's not something that we should hold on for that long. So there are more benefit when we have social connection compared to if we don't. But also another thing that I wanted to add from the previous speaker, which I really think is important to remember, is also we go through different seasons, which I believe later on we may touch maybe upon a little bit. There are some seasons that actually that time alone is needed, but also there are some seasons that doing so is not really a good idea. So yeah, that's all I can say for now.
So much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for this, for that explanation. Yeah, right now, because it's an interaction section, I would like to be throwing questions to us. So we now discuss it individually. So whoever is going to come first, you unmute yourself and you discuss on it. So are we ready for the interaction section?
Yes, ma'am.
Then I before I throw open the discussion proper, I like to also mention something to we women. Many a times while I was growing up, I grew up to see women coming together. To them, they believe that that is social gathering. To them, that is social connection. But all they do is sit down, gossip, talk this, talk that, nothing impactful, nothing inspiring. So if you're a woman and you are watching, when we talk about social connection, we don't mean that connecting yourself with people that have no vision and that have no purpose. We are not talking about people, you connecting yourself with people that, you know, they are not better than you. They have nothing to offer you. So I'm trying to motivate us as women that as you get this message this evening, please get it with an understanding that you need to connect with people that can add to you, people that can multiply you, people that can propel you to achieve purpose, not people that are time wasters. Sorry, it's just for me. I just needed to chip that in. Thank you. So now, continue with our discussion. I would like to ask Anne, because she's just coming in. In 2 minutes, can you tell us the disadvantage of, no, advantage of isolation? Can you discuss more on isolation and the advantage? And
Yes, yes. So as I mentioned earlier on, isolation or time, if we can maybe even term it differently, because isolation, I think, has that almost negative connotation attached to it. So let's call it time alone. So time alone has advantage. For example, there are times which I've seen Kenny have shared. Maybe times that we're going through difficult seasons, times that maybe there is a betrayal that have happened. So this time can really be beneficial to be alone. Why is that? I think twofold. We can discuss in twofold. Yes, for ourselves, but also I believe we all through, you know, we're in different stages of life, age. I believe in the group as well there is different age, but I'm sure at some point in our lives we've gone through difficult times, and we've seen how if we are not careful we can almost infect others as well. So time alone can really benefit us to say, okay, we can get that time to almost strengthen, time to really think through, time to ponder, time to reflect what maybe, because some things as well, maybe it was our own doing, it was us who maybe contributed to that negative thing that happened in our lives, or even if not. But also, if we take that time apart, we can protect others from being, as I mentioned earlier on, to be infected or to kind of, because when we're in pain, I don't know anyone else, sometimes when we're in pain, we just talk and talk, we're there, you know, we're sharing, we're, you know, so it's really, it helps when we take the time alone to make sure that we don't pass that pain to others. For example, for parents, ensuring that, oh, actually we don't pass these things to our little ones or our loved ones, and just have those, you know, maybe two people or just a couple of people whom we can really share those experience with, but not to everybody, or not to always, you know, be in groups, because otherwise we may bounce back from difficult season, but the people who we've impacted them negatively because of what we were going through, they may struggle to bounce back. They may hate, for example, an individual who have caused this, you know, whatever pain in our lives. So I think, yeah, that time alone is really important in that regard.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But you didn't talk about, you didn't mention the disadvantage, but we'll come back to that. So, Rose, someone just, thank you, sir, for putting that up. Someone said, yeah, isolation can lead to depression, but then he now says something. Mr. Eze, thank you, sir, for this point. So he says something which I want to put to you. He said that, but what about those people that love their privacy? They are introverts, so to say. What do you say to them? How can you talk to them that you being private, how can you encourage them not to isolate themselves but to still have a social life? What can you say about people that believe that, oh, me, I'm a private person, I'm an introvert? What do we say to them regarding this issue? Do you understand?
Thank you. Yes, I do. Thank you so much. I want to start by saying that you had made mention of, you have put forth a caveat that I love to let people understand that when we are talking about, what we are talking about is not, you know, having gossip group. That is not what we are referring to. But really, nobody can exist alone. So even an introvert, you understand, needs a shoulder to lean on, needs someone to rest on. That is why I read that. I said the thing I read before. I said we were not created to exist in silence. So for someone who is an introvert, let me put it that way, there must be someone who you can relate with. You need to find your own person. You need to find your own people. You understand? Even for an extrovert, you need to find your own people. Someone was saying to me today that, you are an extrovert. I said, yes. I said, but I am an extrovert, maybe 60, 70%. But I'm also an introvert because I have found that I enjoy the company of myself. The way I enjoy the company of myself. So I am not really about. But people don't believe that I have an introverted side of me because what is seen more is my extroverted side. So for someone who is an introvert, it is important that you find someone who shares your kind of personality. And that person doesn't necessarily have to be an introvert like you. This introvert thing we talk about is not really, it's just someone most times who doesn't know how to express themselves. A lot of people who say they are introverts are not actually introverts. They just don't know how to express. They don't know how to be in the world of the jovial and the lively. They feel bored. They feel stressed out by it. I remember talking to a friend and he was saying, that she just don't, she likes my energy. She wants me like that. And I laughed and I said, see, even me, sometimes my energy can wear me out. My energy wears me out. And so what I do is that I understand when I am being worn out by my energy. So what I do is I take a break. I gradually. So that's why sometimes you might be talking to me or being listening, and you find out that I suddenly kept quiet, or I keep quiet rather. You just find out that I keep quiet. So and then but you're not a quiet person. I'm trying to what? Because I'm beginning to feel drained by the excess energy that I've expressed. So as an introverted person, which I want to say that there's nobody that is really an introvert. The only thing is just that we have our different levels of expression. Like Anna said, she said that when we are in pain, we tend to talk a lot. That I was one time in that phase where if I don't talk, I'm going crazy. So sometimes I'm not even talking to anybody. I'm seated and I'm talking to thin air and I'm expressing and then once the tears come out, I'm healed. I move on. So no one actually can find. See, isolation is not a sweet place, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. So even as an introvert, find your people. Find your people. As Christian said, iron sharpeneth iron. Find your people. There must be some, except and if you have issues, in terms of you have character problem, but you will everly see your own people. And one thing I also want to say that for introverts, you have to settle it that you can't be liked by anyone. In as much as your ideology is good to you and known to you, everybody will not accept what you bring on. Everybody will not. So once you are able to settle your mind that, see, whatever it is, see, I battled with it for a long time. Because I just believe that this and I know this and I'm good with it. But I'm a work in progress. So now I take people's ideal and I try to reason with it. So most times, those people who say they are introverted, it's just that people who are struggling with being with their ideologies or their suggestions being accepted. So they cannot bear it. They feel humiliated by it. They feel small. They feel made small by it. But if you settle in your mind that, see, everybody has an idea, everybody has a thought about something. You understand that? So, and there is something to learn in everyone's idea and suggestion, you will find out that you are actually not an introverted person. But that the only thing is just that you have constrained yourself by the social environment you wish to belong. You have streamlined what you want to be a part of. And that doesn't mean, like you said, Ma, that you should be in a play of gossip. You know, don't we ask ourselves, why is it that controversy sells more on social media? Why does it sell? Because a lot of people are bitter. A lot of people are unhappy. But if they understand that, see, so they thrive and feed more on other people's misery and bad news.
Mm.
So for an introverted person, find your own person. Just be conscious to find your own person. Because, like I said earlier, see, your network is indeed your net worth. You might be the most intelligent person, have the best certificate, but if you are not visible, visibility is the new currency in our environment today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You have really, really hit it. Yes, not there is nobody that is really, really an introvert, truly. Because I too, people believe, oh, I don't talk, I don't talk. Why are you going? But guess what? When I see the people I'm connected to, I tend to talk. Oh. So that's true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Anne, please, I need you to complete the initial question I asked. No,
Hmm.
I told you that you should tell us um, to tell us more on isolation, and then give us the disadvantage of isolation. What are the disadvantages of isolation? Why should people not dwell in their isolation? Yes, there should be a time of withdrawal, but in the process of you withdrawing, don't stay there. So what are the disadvantages? What can isolation bring to us as a woman? What can it do to us? Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
please, you have
yeah.
the floor for the next few minutes.
Okay, thank you. I will say isolation really, as I will echo more of on the previous speakers. Isolation can cause, it has many disadvantages. And again, not only to ourselves, but also to the people around us. For example, we know, for example, things like mental health, while to some of the cultures or, some of the communities, it's not something that is really talked about. But truly, due to isolation, is when we see things like that have already been mentioned. Things like depression is very easy for an individual who is isolated to get or to to enter into depression. Anxiety, one of the speaker the area or one did mention things like anxiety. And why is that? I think a major one from the quote that was read not too long ago, as human beings, but definitely also as women, we really are social, we're social creatures, that we are created in that sense that we need individual who surround us at different capacities as well. The one, for example, family members, but also for individual who go to work, but also friends. So there are different groups, and when this is lacking because we were isolated ourselves, or if we're in an environment that this is not really cultivated, then it leads now to that sense of almost not, lack of just knowing really if we belong, or lacking really motivation. Then depression kicks in. Then all this, mental ill health kicks in. But also isolation can impact now our family because from my biography, as you've heard, that, for example, I am a parent. So if I isolate myself, I'm not only like that, will not only impact me, but also will impact my children. Because out of that, for example, my children now will not have those social connections. And then it's a circle that keeps on going on and on. But also isolation can lead now to, we've seen, for example, increase in crime, increase in just individual who cannot connect well with others. And crime again can be, for example, I don't know other parts of the world, but we've seen, for example, here in West, whereby there is that, for example, some children, especially young people or teenagers, they isolate themselves, they go in their rooms, and they're playing video games for, 15 hours, whichever hours when they're off from school, for example. Out of that, a lot of things can be learned that are not really that positive. For example, things like gaming, where in these games there is violence, there is, shooting, gambling. A lot of things can happen just because people have isolated themselves. Another negative as well, part of isolation. Isolation can lead to individual really now failing even when they go out, which we saw a lot of it during COVID, because we had, there was shutdown in many parts of the world. When individual now stepped out, they were not able to engage anymore. They were not able to relate to other people. So empathy can lack when individuals are isolating themselves so much. They can lack that empathy to actually see other people suffering, to relate to other people's struggles. Somebody who have isolated themselves for too long, when they go out and they see somebody, for example, who maybe is injured, or somebody who is in pain, they may fail to relate with them because for so long they've just they were in their own bubble or in their own world. So isolation really can cause again a lot of things, not only to us but for also to people around us, to our friends, to our family members, and not only even we spoke about mental health, but also emotional health. Again, sadness can kick in, a lot of emotions, which in the end also can impact our physical health, because we know out of isolation, most of the time when people are isolated, where are they? Most of the time they're inside their homes. Then that means there is a lack of, they're not active as well. And then it can lead now to lots of health issues. I'm not a health professional, but just from, observing, you can see that there is a lot of that, a lot of health issues, physical health issues comes also from isolation. Yeah.
Much. Thank you so much. That's intense. So that means isolation can also cause terminal disease.
Yeah.
Can cause
Yeah.
some people to have terminal disease, right?
Yes, yeah. Chronic health diseases, things like high blood pressure, for example. As I mentioned
Wow.
earlier on, yes, of course, not all the time, but if an individual is just inside the home, they're not going out to meet others. That means they're just inside the home. So there is that lack of activity as well. And our physical bodies, and we know it, it needs that. It needs, always needing to move around and all that. But if an individual is just sitting down, for example, playing on their console or gaming, out of that, then obesity, for example, can come, and people now gain too much weight, and then heart issues and all that. So some research do show so, but not every individual, yes, because of isolation, that's why they have these health issues, but it can definitely lead to that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Women, are you hearing this? Are you listening to this program? Please, if you are not listening right now, come and listen and sit down. Glue yourself to this program. And if you have friends that are going through the same issue, invite them. They can have a playback. Please, it's really, really key that we all listen and learn one or two things from it. Now, I would like to ask Rose, please, I want you to talk more. Yes, social connection is good. Social connection is the way to go. It's good. It's this. It's that. It gives you gets you to know people. It gets you to be motivated. It gets you to be happy and the rest, onboarding and the rest of it. Please, can you tell us the disadvantages of social connections? Because there is always a pro and a con to everything. So, like we have had the disadvantage of isolation, can we also have the disadvantages of social connection?
Thank you so much. No, for everything, there are two sides to a coin. So even for social connections, there are several advantages, and I will speak from my own experience with social connection. And that is one of the things is that once you are socially connecting, you are there's no how you would not you know there's no how some part of your personal life will not be known. You understand what I'm saying? That there's no how the part of your personal life will not be known. There's no how, because in exchange of communication and all that, you will somehow find a way to discuss about your life and all that. So most times what I always tell people is this: if you what you cannot handle, if you cannot handle being talked about, if you cannot handle, being gossiped about, then, ensure that whatever it is you are discussing, you understand, you something that, when if it comes back to you, and you are hearing that somebody's talking, this happened and this is happening, you would not be offended, or feel that you are being gossiped about. Like I would say, it's only the living that people talk about. So one of the disadvantage of socially connecting and having relationship with people is that your life, there will be some level of infiltration of people into your privacy and your life. That is one of the things that happens. But as it is a disadvantage, it is also an advantage, because when people are able to have some level of reason about your life, if there is if you are going through problem, it will also help them to know. For example, I have kids, and like Anna have said, from each of my children, I know their personality. You understand what I'm saying now? So for one of my sons, if once I see him disappear, I'm calling him disappear, and he likes to be on his own. So once I see him, go and once I'm calling him, I'm like, okay, come, let's talk. I'm trying to engage him and to ensure that, because I have observed that part of his life is, so he easily withdraws and reserves himself. So that is one aspect of it. Then another aspect is that the disadvantage is that you will get hurt. You will get hurt. Human beings hurt human beings, not animals. Though animals can only bite you, you will get hurt. But it is part of the things that matures us. Because really, how will you be able to test something, to test if you are matured, or if you are growing, if you do not put out, that thing, or you do not practice it? So when people hurt you, you are able to know, where you are doing what you have done wrong, because you have a point of reference. Oh, this was what I did, and this was what it led to. And also, that's one of the disadvantages. People will hurt you, but it is also an advantage, because it will help you grow. You will be able to know how to behave. You will be able to know how to throw things, out. And another disadvantage of social connection is that you will not always meet people like you.
Mm.
You will not always meet people like you. There are many fishes, they say, in the ocean. You always but you have no choice but to exist and thrive, even in the midst of the complexity and the diversity. So if that's one of the, so it will not always work your own way. You will not always have what you want. So you will have to, all you now have to do is how to learn to thrive, even in the midst of the complexity and the diversity. That's another disadvantage. Then another disadvantage is that you will always you will get confused about personalities, people's personality, because someone might be, you think that someone is nice today, you understand, and then the next time the person is behaving something. So you have mixed personalities. And on a final note, to my own knowledge, you will sometimes be lost. You will sometimes be lost and carried away. Yes, you will sometimes be lost and carried away, especially if you find yourself in a group that they have everything that connects with you. But just one thing, maybe for example, I'm just giving an example. I don't take alcohol. I don't take alcohol. And so, over the years, with everything that I have done, I have not been lost, because I have settled it in with myself, and have worked on myself to that. But if you are not careful, you might get lost, and retracing yourself might be an impossible thing to do. So what I would say to anyone is this: as much as you need social connection to thrive, exist, and grow, you understand that, do a work of understanding yourself, your person. You understand that? Put value to yourself. Understand your value. Draw mark and mark your value. Be able to itemize the values and what you stand for before you get too deep. You understand, into it, and then before you throw yourself in and everything, because it is your values and your values, your beliefs, and what you stand for that will help guide and guide you towards thriving, when it comes to social connection. Thank you. Hello, ma. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello.
We can hear you.
So it's 9 o'clock already. So Anne, are you still there?
Yes, yes, I am.
So please, in 1 minute, can you just wrap up this discussion by giving us the advantages of isolation and then say something in general that can be of benefit to everyone listening to us when it comes to this topic. Do you understand?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
Thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you again for the
Okay.
opportunity to really speak about this. As I shared earlier on, is something that I'm very passionate because personally, I saw earlier on when I began the discussion, I did mention how different seasons also demand, demand adjustment. But for example, I will just briefly speak how really something like isolation can impact us. When I had, for example, my first daughter coming from, different region, coming to another region where social life is different compared to where I had come from. There was really that element whereby I can appreciate a topic like this, or I can appreciate, discussion like this more and more. And I'm glad that this have been able to be put on. So what I will advise is really to say that we have to have that balance. Yes, for example, from what our last speaker have just mentioned, to say weigh the disadvantages, weigh the advantages, and we've seen that actually advantages are more when we connect. But we have to do this with caution. We have to do this ensuring that, depending also on age, because if especially for the young ones, most of the time they can try to connect so hardly that they lose themselves, that they enter into that peer pressure that demand them to do things that are not supposed to be done. So we have to be careful to make sure that we have that balance, but definitely reach out if you are struggling. Reach out, and also we did speak about personality type, and but also seasons of life, as I mentioned earlier on. They will, we have to evolve. We have to evolve, keep on keep on learning ourselves, but also learning the environment that we are in. I can
Mm,
definitely say from 12 years ago to today, I can see differently. I've tried to connect. Maybe we're not in regions like this, we may not be able to connect with the neighbor, but for example, things like places of worship,
mm,
a church for the one who are Christians, or different places of worship.
mm,
But also as parents, for example, being able to connect to people just because we are all parents and our children go to the same school. So there are many, many venues that we can connect, but with, again, wisdom. And then out of that also, can we also be that person who will help another person who is in isolation?
mm.
Because from what I experienced myself, where I was very close to go, for example, through postnatal depression when I had my first child because of that isolation. So I can really say today I'm empathetical. So I can really go, and if I see somebody who is struggling, with somebody who is isolated, I can be that helping hand. So I will leave you with that, really, to say all of us, let's go out there. Let be that light, that beacon of light to that person who is struggling, and reach out. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to, I don't, you are still coming back anyway. This one is just a tip of the iceberg. You are still coming back. Please, just
Thank you.
sorry. I really want to say a big thank you for doing this on short notice.
Mm,
And Barrister Kenny, thumbs up. That's our legal advisor, the initiative's legal advisor. Has always been a saving grace at the time most needed. Thank you so much, Barrister Kenny, and thank you so much, Anna, for doing this. Like I
thank
said,
you.
be coming back. Please keep your door open. You see, coming back to take us. I really enjoy your perspective this night. Thank you so much, and really say thank you, thank you, thank you. And everyone, it's been an amazing night. See, this topic is so sensitive that it's what did I find is that most times when we are talking about topics like this, People don't seem to give it time, don't seem to give it thought, and yet it is a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this. I want to say a big thank you to Henry Eze. I want to say a big thank you to Omolara. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined us on tonight's discussion. Please go back and watch and listen. That is what I do, because really, I must say that the healing that I have experienced, that has come into my life in the past 1 year that we started this program. So you know that it is not about, oh, they are the one hosting it. No. That has come, the help I have received through this program, through our numerous speakers, has been immense, and I'm grateful for it. And until we come your way next week, so next week, Saturday, we'll be talking about a very, very beautiful topic: aging and self-acceptance. Aging and self-acceptance. You know, some people say, oh, some women, they don't want to grow old, they are just trying to look young, they are not trying to live their age. Now, what is aging actually, and how self-accepting are you about aging? Until we come your way next week, Saturday. My name is Rosemary Henry Eze, and I coordinate the affairs at the world, the Y.W.W.B initiative, platform and forum and initiative. See you and stay blessed. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.